Thank you very much. I am standing here with Smeb as well as Homan, who's going to help with some translations here. It's almost impossible to know where to start with this match because there was so much craziness, but let's go ahead and start in Champion Select. What the heck was going on there? We had an Alawi, a Garen, a Galio, all kinds of nonsense.
정말 말도 안 되는 경기가 펼쳐졌는데 어디서부터 시작할지 모르겠습니다. 우선 챔피언 픽부터 좀 여쭤보고 싶은데요. 가렌, 일라오이, 그리고 갈리오 등 정말 말도 안 되는 챔피언 여러 가지 나왔었는데 어떻게 된 일인지 말씀해 주세요.
네, 저도 모르겠었어요. 그러니까 챔피언 픽 시작하고 이제 1, 2픽까지는 좀 정상 픽인 줄 알았거든요. 근데 1, 2픽 이후에 막 이상한 픽을 하는 걸 보고 아 진짜 이거 준비했구나, 재밌게 게임 하겠구나 하고 저도 좀 신나 있었던 것 같아요.
I myself am also very confused. For the first two picks, we thought they were going rather normal picks, but then starting from pick 3, I was utterly confused. And okay, they prepared for this. It's gonna be a fun match. And overall, I think it was very interesting.
Oh, it was very interesting to watch, to say the least. Of course, you did have Jace, a slightly more normal pick, but you were up against Alawi. Alawi, not a champion that gets played in Korea or really in any region very often. How did you expect that matchup to go, and did you kind of get a sense of it more as the game went on?
이제 스맵 선수는 비교적 정상적인 픽인 제이스를 골랐지만 일라오이는 아마 처음 상대하신 걸 거고 일라오이 픽 자체가 여러 지역에서 잘 안 쓰이는 챔피언인데 이제 경기를 시작하기 앞서서 어떤 생각을 가지고 시작하셨는지 그리고 경기를 진행하면서 점점 일라오이 상대한 법이 좀 익숙해졌는지 말씀해 주세요.
네. 일라오이 픽을 이제 좀 뭐 랭크 게임이나 그럴 때에서 이제 좀 많이 만나봤었거든요. 그래서 제이스라면 이거 손쉽게 이기겠다 생각을 했었는데 제가 이제 솔로킬 한번 따이고 그때부터 이제 정신을 바짝 차리고 했던 것 같아요.
So I did play against Alawi a lot during solo rank games, so I thought it'd be pretty easy with my Jace. But after I got solo killed, it was my wake-up call. Okay, this is real. So after that, yeah, I had to play more seriously.
And of course, the entire EU team there was standing up there with their awesome boxing shorts on. Was that at all intimidating for you to step up against this team that was sporting that attire?
또 특히나 이제 유럽 팀의 그 반바지 차림이 매우 인상적이었는데 혹시 그러한 유럽 팀의 모습에 좀 위화감 느끼고 좀 그런 긴장감 느끼셨나요?
아니요, 그 긴장감을 이제 악수할 때 알았거든요. 그래서 악수할 때 알았던 것 같아요. 그 바지를 입은지.
I just noticed that they were wearing shorts while we were doing the handshake. So until then, I wasn't intimidated at all.
All right, but there, they sported that. I know you have a pair yourself, so maybe we'll get to see you in those some other time. Of course, now I want to look ahead to the 1v1s. You're going to be up against Reckless later today. You just played against them here. How confident are you in those 1v1s and making it to the finals for Team Fire?
나중에 스맵 선수 반바지 입은 모습도 꼭 봤으면 좋겠네요. 그리고 다음 이제 1대1 대회에서는 레클레스 선수랑 붙게 되어 있는데 얼만큼 자신 있으시며 그리고 결승전까지 올라갈 그 자신이 지금 있으신 상태인가요?
네, 뭐 사실 자신감도 있긴 있지만 좀 이기더라도 좀 재밌게 이기고 싶은 마음이 커요. 그래서 어떻게 하면 재밌게 이길 수 있을지 많이 고민 중이고 레클레스 선수를 이긴다면은 다음 경기가 아니면 그 프레이 선수나 마타 선수로 알고 있는데 레클레스 선수를 이긴다면 결승 진출은 할 수 있을 것 같아요.
Of course, I'm pretty confident, but other than just winning, I want to win in a very fashionable way, in a very fun way. So I'm thinking ways of how it would be the most interesting matchup. And if I beat Reckless, I think my next opponent would be either Mata or Prey. And considering that, I think I can go to the finals if I beat Reckless.
That's what I like to hear. Maybe something tricky up your sleeves. Once again, Smeb and Homin on the translations. But Team Fire moving ahead, 100 points in the standings. Back to the desk to break down that game.
Thank you so much, Dash. An absolutely wonderful interview after an absolutely fantastic match. And to make everything fun, maybe everyone should get shorts like that and sport them all the time. I think that would be a lot of you guys as well.
Yeah, my legs would not look good in those shorts.
I'm sure they would. So they talked a lot about the pick and ban. We're going to take a closer look. Zyrene, you were quite happily saying, well, hey, EU LCS, they seem like they have the right ideas for the composition of LCK.
Yeah, I mean, there's all this stuff where it's like,
totally planned,
EU,
probably.
no coaches, stuff like that. They didn't have a coach on stage, and this was brilliant.
Yeah.
I thought that this was so good because the Garen into the Galio forces the Galio to build armor, wants to build the MR. Also, you silence him. It's almost impossible to get that ultimate off, and you have to wait for the Garen to go through that silence first, and he's going to build Black Cleaver, so the armor you do build, it's even less effective.
You know what's even more impressive? I was listening in a bit when they were trying to think of this. They were, yeah, okay, we can't give Faker X5 and Z's champion, and that's what they did. But they didn't really have any other strategy. Just the veterans coming up with this on the fly.
I was a little unsure about the picks, and after hearing some of Zarine's reasoning, you know, I got a little bit more supportive of it because that early pick, Ken and Elise, you heard Smeb. He's like, hey, we thought they're going to play serious. They lulled them into a false sense of security. They pull out the surprise switch at the end, and for about 22.5 minutes, EU were in the lead. They played well. They played aggressive. I'm not quite sure what happened after that because I stopped watching.
Yeah, a lot of team fights didn't go very well. You know, the TLDR.
Let's focus on the good. Let's focus on the good.
How's this doing for you?
Hey. Let's focus on the good. Let's show you the perseverance of the Garen mid lane strat brought to you by Acer because he was popping off, especially in the beginning versus that Galio, and it started all the way at the bottom lane first with the first blood.
Yeah, this was actually really well played here, Jankos. I love that he threw the cocoon out as the hook was coming through, so it guarantees that you're going to hit the Nautilus with it, but then it actually just turned around.
It really does. And you've got to remember that LCK were running a double teleport composition. For the first 20-odd minutes, they were actually using those TPs to counter aggressive fire plays very well. But what ice plays rather, but what I did like was seeing how Xpeke as well as Soaz then altered their play style and actually used decent baits to get themselves a couple kills. Peke, he just kept going for Faker time and time again.
Yep, the Ignite on top of it as well to cut the healing from the Bulwark. He took that Summoner spell, and I actually was a little bit confused by some of the builds in this game because when you're that far ahead as an Alawi, you should actually, when you have the Phage, don't go for Black Cleaver. You have a Garen on your team. He's going to spin and do the armor shredding for you. Get a Trinity Force. Kill the Jace. Do a ton of damage to that Ezreal when you actually get in range. Build something like a Death Stance a little bit earlier. Randu and Zoman wasn't really that great of a pick either because of the fact that they didn't buy any crit.
No, they didn't. And you know, the early armor pen from Smeb's Jace, not super valuable, but when you saw how Smeb and Soaz were trading in the top lane with that Alawi, you talked about being a little confused by those itemization points. The LCK were hella confused by Alawi. We've got a couple of clips here of just how Soaz was handling the Alawi because it really felt like Bengi was terrified of that champion.
Wouldn't you be of those tentacles?
In a few minutes, Bengi's actually going to do a flyby. He comes in from behind, gets a perfect setup for a 2v1, and Bengi ran straight past. I did like how Jankos actually double-teamed with Soaz multiple times. Peke roamed up there a little bit later. The problem was, it didn't translate to a tower, it didn't translate to anything more.
This right here, the reason that Soaz actually gets this kill is he uses the ultimate as Smeb is using his E, and Alawi ultimate, you can't be CC'd during it. So people will use it when like Nautilus ultimate is in transit, you dunk, and you actually can't be CC'd during that.
Soaz also, and I like that you talk about the itemization, so we know at least if we started playing it, we should do it better. I think it also proves that it wasn't a genius strategy that they had come up with before. They did kind of go with the flow and pick these things, and it didn't necessarily think too much about these specific item paths, and they were in the lead until 22 minutes.
I mean, this is the depressing replay. This is where I'm going to temporarily get my scarf.
The expected replay.
Yeah, pull the replay up because this is exactly what won the game for LCK, for Team Fire. Look at the minimap. This is the most important thing. Soaz is a year and a half away from getting involved. Peke, Jankos, and Reckless, they just dive way too deep to try get Faker, and this is messy. I think Deficio said it best. Team Ice had a lot of AoE, but you cannot use AoE when you're spread out.
Exactly.
Yeah, they just they overcommitted for no reason whatsoever. Kind of going too crazy in the chaos of everything, I do think.
Yeah, Soaz there as well, he missed his Test of Spirit. Test of Spirit is an absolutely necessary ability to land your E so that your tentacles automatically flail with the guy for you, so you don't have to use the W every single time.
Yeah, that was a pentakill waiting to happen.
Yeah, because if he hits an E, he has the R to avoid the CC.
Trevor.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but
one loss. One loss.
One loss. Okay, so it's 100 points. Now, I've been taking a look at those 1v1s, which are coming up later in the day. Ron OP from the GPL is taking on Peke. Levi is taking on WLS, formerly God V. And OP Timus is taking down Uzi. Team Fire loses 3 people in the next round. Team Ice, 1v1. We've got All-Stars.
Yeah, we do.
Somebody else thought
but you did take off your scarf, so there's not going to be any flip-flopping with the on and off with that one. We are going to Vamoose, but don't go anywhere. One for all and all for one. After the break, we'll be having some fun.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah!
Okay.
Ooh. All right, we need 2 analysts here for sure. What you got, Deficio?
Garen mid lane.
Caught up by a second. The Ignite goes down. Faker's in trouble. He's going to heal up a decent amount. True damage is there. Garen spinning to win. The Ice Mark comes out. Bengi's backing up as well. Bengi silenced. Locked up. There's decent damage. Red buffs on both sides.
it's fine.
Faker is worth it, guys.
Yeah, that is so true.
Wait, Peke, you want to see if you can take the red buff? And then obviously take the cone out. A little bit having fun here.
That was pretty good. Shock Blast gonna take him. Baker looking for the 2v1 in the meantime, but Peke gonna grab another kill. Redemption comes down. Team Fire looking to pick up 100 points here. And Korea reminding us why they are on top of the world. An all-star lineup crushing through each and every other region.